Most people assume that if you scramble digital data so no one can read it, your system is secure. It makes sense. If the message is a secret, you win. That mindset goes back thousands of years. Julius Caesar famously communicated with his officers by shifting every letter in his messages 3 spaces down the alphabet. In cryptographic terms, this is an additive cipher. You take a plain text message, a secret key, and map them as integers onto a 26-letter wheel. This flowchart shows exactly how that math works. We take the plain text P, add the key K, and apply modulo 26 to get our ciphertext C. Notice the limitation. This equation is strictly one-dimensional. It only attempts to hide the data. Hiding a message might stop a casual eavesdropper, but simple secrecy lacks the depth to survive modern, coordinated network threats. Let's change the scenario. Instead of someone just listening in, imagine an active attacker positioned directly in the middle of Alice and Bob's network connection. This attacker doesn't care about reading your secret. They want to intercept the data stream, change the instructions, replay messages, or sever the connection completely. To see exactly where classic math fails, we need to benchmark the traditional additive cipher against the modern standard for network defense, the CIA Triad. We will look at how a single layer of basic encryption holds up against a multi-layered enterprise architecture. When a bad actor can alter your message in transit or stop it from arriving, your secure system has failed. We have to move past secret codes and start building secure architectures. Let's set up our comparison matrix, weighing classic additive ciphers on the left against modern security architecture on the right. We start with the first goal, confidentiality. This table shows a classic cipher in action. We take the plain text word hello and apply a shared key of 15. The math converts the H and E into W and T. Because this is a monoalphabetic cipher, meaning every L becomes an A, it provides only a temporary shield. Modern computers break this instantly through basic frequency analysis or brute force. For modern architecture, we use asymmetric cryptography, like the RSA algorithm. This establishes rigorous mathematical secrecy without forcing Alice and Bob to share a single interceptable key. The trade-off here is overhead. The modern method requires significantly higher computational power and complex infrastructure to manage those keys. Relying on basic math and a single shared key leaves you entirely exposed to any adversary with a modern processor. Moving down our matrix, we hit the second goal, integrity. This is where we protect data from active network threats. Look at the center column of this taxonomy chart. Active attackers will try modification, intercepting and altering the message, or masquerading, where they impersonate a trusted sender. A basic additive cipher ignores this threat. An attacker can flip a few scrambled characters in transit, and the receiver will decrypt and execute corrupted instructions without any way to detect the change. Modern architecture maps the solution differently. To secure integrity, we deploy specific security mechanisms, namely digital signatures, alongside our encryption. These act as a multi-tool, mathematically proving the data's origin and guaranteeing the file hasn't been modified in transit. Protecting a message from being read is useless if you can't guarantee who sent it or what it actually says when it arrives. We complete our matrix with the final mandatory goal of the triad, availability. This text defines the most common threat to this goal, a denial of service or DOS attack, which is designed to slow down or totally interrupt your system. If you hit a Caesar cipher with a DOS attack, the encryption math still technically works perfectly, but the server crashes and the service goes offline. Mathematical encryption cannot help if the routing infrastructure fails to keep the system online and accessible for legitimate users. To guarantee availability, an organization must implement hardware-level routing controls and traffic padding. This increases the cost and complexity of the deployment compared to just writing software code. A secure system must stay online. While cryptography protects the payload, architecture ensures the channel remains open. When we look at the final scorecard for the CIA Triad and factor in things like non-repudiation, the classic additive cipher fails nearly every modern benchmark. This taxonomy tree illustrates why. Additive ciphers are not complete security systems. They are a primitive implementation of encipherment, which is just one single branch of defense. Systemic trust requires a much larger umbrella. You have to combine encipherment with data integrity protocols, authentication, and access control. Those mechanisms directly feed into these critical services, delivering the actual outcomes a business needs, like proof of origin and anti-change guarantees. Functional defense relies on a matrix of intersecting goals, shifting the focus from secrecy toward verifiable systemic trust. If you are studying computer science, learn the Z26 modular arithmetic. It is a foundational mental model for cryptography, but categorize it immediately as obsolete for any production environment. For IT professionals and product managers, avoid conflating basic data encryption with a comprehensive security posture. If your team only focuses on hiding data from passive snooping, your enterprise remains entirely vulnerable to replay attacks, masquerading, and data modification. It comes down to a trade-off between simplicity and survival. Achieving the full CIA Triad means investing in complex, multi-layered mechanisms. Survival in the modern landscape requires moving focus from individual ciphers towards the resilience of the integrated network stack.